Hey everyone, we have a ton of news to cover and a big announcement from Cow Abundance, so let's dive in. Hey everyone, welcome. So we have a wonderful announcement, and that is that AJ Salmons is on board for Cow Abundance. So Cow Abundance is growing. We have a lot of really cool stuff happening. We're very excited about that. And we're very happy to welcome AJ to the team at Cow Abundant, and we're even hiring more people upcoming. So there's some cool stuff happening in the SEO world and also in Columbus, which is obviously growing right now. So that's pretty exciting. In terms of customer questions, there was a lot. So do check out our website for the full mention of customer questions and all that good stuff. A lot of really good, interesting stuff happening. And then the newsletter was released, so be sure to sign up for that. But let's dive into the breaking news. So breaking news today, we have a lot of interesting stuff that has happened. So one of the things that has happened is massive cyber attacks in the Columbus community. This is obviously a really big deal for the Columbus community. What basically happened was there was a cyber attack essentially from the city of Columbus that affected major operations in Columbus as well. This was reported on all over the local news. And it affected operations in fire and police. There was also other incidents still being reported. They're kind of being a little bit cagey about the information that is released. We don't know if this was actually a ransomware attack. There actually was a ransomware attack similar that occurred in Cleveland last month as well, which is another news story that I want to shine light on. And basically this had to do with an attack that hit and closed City Hall for 11 days. So pretty amazing. They had to actually close the City Hall for 11 days because of the issue in Cleveland that dealt with similar incident. Originally it was suspected it was an email threat that went in and they basically clicked a bad link. Apparently there was another incident that happened, not actually that. So we're kind of getting really dicey information on this, but it is certainly interesting. Cyber attacks are on the increase. So definitely something that's really important to, consider and look at in the future. WordPress is something that we actually had a minor kind of attack where in 3 hours we had over 300 web orders, and we were able to find that and isolate the incident very quickly, so nothing actually happened. They were trying to basically brute force in. They didn't get in, so we were able to stop that, which is amazing. But WordPress is something that is kind of on the radar now, and there's a lot of companies that don't update their plugins. There's a lot of issues there, so we're urging all clients to update all their stuff, all their plugins there. So I'm gonna hit with the kind of back to the normal news, back to the normal screen here, and there's just so many topics, particularly in the local arena. So it was kind of interesting that a local kind of report did kind of argue that there is a potential recession in our midst, according to marketing data, which is kind of fascinating to just see. It says that keep your marketing strong in tough economic times with insights on consumer behavior, market analysis, and long-term positioning. So this is kind of a case for digging in deep, basically, whenever there's any time of recession. I don't necessarily see that on the whole, especially in Columbus. We're very positive in Columbus. Things are going very well. Like I said, we're hiring. We're very busy as well. So I don't really see that taking effect like in our isolated area. But larger from the economic side, we are seeing kind of some interesting notes that could potentially note an existing recession right now from housing sectors and other markets. Again, Columbus has been fairly insulated, so we are seeing very positive reports there in a lot of categories, but there are some isolated incidents of things being down. So do check that out in our on our website. Google has announced $2.3 billion investment in Ohio for more data centers. Again, Columbus is a tech capital. It's becoming this sought after tech place for so many industries. And we've had Google, we obviously have Intel, which I have more news on coming up. But Google is investing $2.3 billion more in the Ohio area, which is fantastic. We know about the New Albany data center, which happened in 2019, worth $600 million. Last year, they announced $1.7 billion into technical infrastructure across Ohio data centers and advanced in AI innovations and cloud services. So pretty cool to see that. Cloud is definitely growing. AI is definitely leading the charge in the way with that. So pretty fascinating to follow those stories. Intel has delayed the facility, a $20 billion Ohio chip plant. So this is something that's targeting 2025. Ground has been broken in September of 22 outside Columbus, now 3 to 5 years from groundbreaking. So the completion, this article kind of goes into that detail about some delays that are occurring within the space. There's certain infrastructure things and other things, but it is still happening, obviously. It's just there are some delays. Funds will be available for 2 years after construction begins, which must be completed by December 31st, 2028. So some interesting news about the Columbus area and how Intel is sort of handling that aspect. And this is a view of what the Intel campus will look like in New Albany when finished, released not long ago. Google's had a lot of ranking volatility going on, a lot of ups and downs with the, they call it volatility essentially for Google and how it's working. But they're unsure if an actual ranking algorithm update might happen. It's very possible. They suspect one in August. So we are on the lookout for that. We don't know exactly when it might happen. Basically, they say a lot of chatter and other things around searches, around, kind of ranking and how that all works. So kind of interesting to see and something, we'll obviously follow, but it is very possible that in the future there could be an update. There's a landmark case going on with the DOJ and Google. That is currently stopped at this point, but it is going to continue. The YouGov poll showed that basically Americans approve of the DOJ lawsuit, 41% in favor with 19% opposed. Google is slowly losing market share. It reports that 77.52 fell down from 86%. It is basically falling from Bing, which grew to 13% market share in April, up from 8.04%. So kind of interesting there where Google is actually losing a little bit and Bing is getting a little bit ahead. This was a fascinating take, basically saying that hours openness as a local ranking factor. So it is very important. Listing false 24/7 hours may backfire as Google adjusts ranking signals. Keeping operating hours current is essential visibility. This is an article that basically says that having your reliable hours is extremely important and is a strong ranking signal for managing Google ads. Google listings. Google's John Mueller recently said that don't follow LLMs, large language models advice, or basically ChatGPT or AI on SEO advice, stating that it can be unreliable. It can also mix in data from unknown sources that could not be as reliable as you would want. However, in initial tests, the information actually did seem fairly accurate, but it was just kind of interesting to note that John Mueller from Google did say, do not use that information, even when it's maybe Gemini itself, which is a Google product. So a little bit interesting take there. One of the things we like to follow is drone news. We do a lot of drone video work for our clients, and we like to keep updated on the latest DJI information. There recently was information from the Senate, which actually said to hold off the DJI drone ban due to demand, which is fantastic. However, there was passing in the House, so they're kind of reworking the bill. It is very possible that there could be a DJI drone ban coming in the future. We are monitoring this closely, which basically means that existing drones would still be allowed. Anything with a actual license or serial would still be available. Anything that's currently existing would still work. But new drones would not be allowed basically to be sold or create new ones from DJI. So you'd have to buy something essentially that's domestic. Pretty interesting there. We use a lot of DJI products. We enjoy them. They work very well for our needs. So this is something that we've been listening to and also writing to our congresspeople about, saying that we don't feel that this is justified. So it is interesting, certainly, to see that. The kind of reason why they were banned is because they were saying it was a threat to national security, that they had suggested that DJI was reporting that information back to CCP, I believe, and certain members of the intelligence community and such. Actually, it was led by certain senators and certain congresspeople, were saying that these drones are not safe and a security concern. There's arguments on both sides, and particularly on the other side, that say this is not true. They are not sending data back. The way that works just doesn't really work that way. So it's very interesting to see this, and it does seem like it could be of sorts a witch hunt or something like that, where they are just going after these because it is a Chinese company, and it is currently the largest market share company. So it'll be interesting to see these developments, what do happen. We obviously follow it very closely, but there is big implications for drone pilots, and we are licensed FAA pilots, so we absolutely follow this very closely. House Republicans did put their agenda over strengthening U.S. security, and because of that, they have kind of transformed into a bipartisan package with information about against policy for DJI drones. So very interesting. We'll absolutely follow that as the info continues and let you know where that goes. This was a fascinating piece. It said that if people knew content was written by AI, they'd still read it. But they would read it at less rate. So about 50% less time, almost, if it was AI written versus human written. So quite fascinating how that works, and very interesting statistic here overall. So human written content will give you a longer site time and more engagement overall based on the statistics and testing. We find this next one absolutely true. It has to do with automation, and basically marketers are concerned with advertisers' automation in Google Ads, and this is absolutely relevant and very true. People aren't trusting basically the automation that's taking place, whether it be PMAX campaigns or other campaigns in Google. So very fascinating to see, and definitely a nugget of truth in that more items are being done with automation, particularly in Google Ads. So it is something that we watch. We also have pulled back some automation with our client accounts, so due to negative growth or issues with scaling. So quite interesting to see that. This was just an interesting piece overall. It was the top 12 advertising platforms, with Google Ads coming number 1. This is from SEMrush blog, and it was basically saying that most of the client funnel situation occurs within Google Ads. We certainly see that with our clients when they even do other accounts and campaigns on other channels. We absolutely see it's always Google Ads that is driving leads to businesses. So we definitely go where the action is. Facebook ads is another option, but it really doesn't deliver as much value direct to client sales from our experiences. So just fascinating to see that Google Ads is still number 1 in the top focus for client growth. This was a fascinating piece. It said that eyewitness testimony from Bloomberg said that Google Ads witness says prices were raised 15%. Pretty fascinating and very interesting from the DOJ case, basically saying during the auction that instead of raising it a penny for the nearest competitor, it would actually raise the price 15 to more percentage over once they won. So it wasn't like they were winning by a penny or a very small amount. It was, in fact, they were winning by 15% over the other bid for that keyword, essentially. So very interesting. Last but certainly not least, every month we donate to a charity, and this month is Special Olympics, which we are happy to support. Special Olympics, we donate, and we were given a nice little, achievement there. So we're very happy to support Special Olympics. Good stuff. Please join us in donating to the Special Olympics in honor of the Olympics going on. So, yeah, and if you donate now, there's a 2 times match. So that is absolutely fantastic. Go to our website to donate or donate to Special Olympics Ohio. All right, well, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was interesting, insightful, and all that good stuff. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please like the video. Thanks again. Bye, everybody.